Alright, so recently I saw Tyler sorry if I can't pronounce it. Is it Mowery? Probably Mowery. So I saw Tyler Mowery's 48-hour script challenge that he did 3 months ago. Might be a little bit longer than that. And ever since I saw it, I really wanted to try it because I just thought it'd be really cool and a fun exercise that all writers should try. And a very brilliant idea of his. But I never really had the time to do it, and I know coming from a writer's standpoint, that's probably not a good excuse. However, I think now would be a good time for me to do it now that we're all in quarantine. I have basically all the free time in the world, and I might as well record it for everyone to see because that's what this channel is me trying to make it and show progress to where I get to. But no, I do recommend you go watch his video. I'll link it somewhere up here. I don't know which way this is. The camera's flipped backwards. But I recommend you go watch the video because it's actually a really good video and it's got some really interesting tips that I never even thought of before doing this. So I would really recommend go watch it, see what you think, but also watch this one. I really think every writer should try something like this. It's really challenging, and let's just see where it goes. I really am excited. So this is my plan. For the first 4 or 5 hours probably, I'm going to be creating the outline, the characters, the ideas, the drama, just sitting down and creating all these crazy ideas in my head about what I want it to be about and what I want to do. And I do kind of have an idea, but it's literally nothing more than just a basic idea, so it's not really cheating. And I think every writer probably always has some idea, never completely start from scratch. And then the next probably, like 40 hours are going to be me actually writing. The thing about me is when I have an idea, I have ideas that just pile and pile and pile and pile, and it might take a little bit longer for me. I might be overestimating my own capabilities as a writer, but we'll see. Alright, time started. It's 2:00 p.m. All I know is for sure is I want this to be a zombie film because I've been watching The Walking Dead religiously. And saw Train to Busan recently, which I also really loved. And I feel like zombie stories need to step their game up because, we don't see very many that really delve into the humanity of people, and really that's what they should all be about. That's what they should really be about at the core. And I'm not against, fun zombie films. I think, obviously, you can. Zombieland's great. Shaun of the Dead is great. Scout's Guide is great. The ones that are trying to be serious aren't really getting to the core of what they should be, I think. So, that's what I think I'm going to do. And I do a lot of things where it's like, what if me and my friends were stuck in this situation? So I know I'm probably going to start there, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Okay, so I've got the basic plans here. I know that I want to be in my small town, basically. I know that I'm going to try and think of things that would just happen to all of us, that each of us would do, me, my friends. Basically trying to reach our friends outside of town, make sure everyone's okay, defend our family and our houses, who would band up and who would actually go their own separate ways. That'd be really a cool thing to go through, and maybe have goals for all of them before the world falls apart, and then basically really deal with the fact that life is different and all those goals you had are completely thrown out the window. And some are actually okay with that, and some don't know how to cope because they thought they had their life completely in order. I think it'd be really cool, something that I've always thought about in the zombie apocalypse, but nothing I've really seen brought to life. I think I might actually text a few of my friends and be, what do you think would happen? That way I can get some really cool ideas, and hope that doesn't kill time, so I'm going to try and keep working on other story aspects outside of that. I really kind of want to see how they show up, because I've always been crazy about how zombies can take over the world, especially if they're slow moving and if the disease doesn't spread fast. That's not what I want. I kind of want the slow ones. I want the ones that the bite takes probably a couple of hours to kill you and for you to turn. So the traditional type, though I think I want them to run if they're newly killed, but the older they are, the slower they get. And I'm going to stick with the brain dead. So I'm trying to figure out how I want the disease to actually work, because I do kind of want to implement that into the story a little bit. I know that might take time, but I think I got a little bit of that. So we're an hour in, and I actually have probably the first half of this story. I definitely know all the setups and points that I want to have. I don't know all the specifics yet. I know the characters. I know all the goals that everyone's going to have, and I've already written a story clock for it, which I learned about from Seth Worley, which is very simple. It's like just a clock. The 30-minute mark is the halfway point of the movie. You kind of just drop your ideas in, so that way you kind of learn it, and you learn parallels. There's a much deeper way to go into it, and I would actually recommend you look into it, though. It's actually a really cool way to figure out your stories, and you can kind of mirror things to get what you want out of the story to try and help fill in some blanks. Now, what I said, probably got about half of it done. I already know how the outbreak happens, but I'm not going to explicitly say in the story because I don't really want to focus on that, but me knowing helps me rationalize how things happen, because I'm always a how did this happen, how did this happen, how did this happen type person. That's just what I do. But no, I'm actually really liking the flow of this. I do kind of want to go bigger in the second half. Like, I kind of wanted to keep it self-contained and then kind of get bigger. Obviously, it's not going to end with like the world being saved or anything, but like I do kind of want to grow from just this small town to kind of a big type of thing, like what you see in The Walking Dead or something like that. Because I'm just going to pretend I have all the budget in the world, because when I make this, I intend to have a big budget for it. So I write the exact story that I want to. I don't care about budgeting. If I have to fix it out in production, then I'll figure it out then. But no, I think this is going to actually be really cool. I'm really enjoying the dynamics, because it being my friend makes it a lot easier to tell the dynamics of the characters and everything. And I would actually recommend you do that in stories when you're kind of struggling. Do you have a friend like that? Do you have a sibling or something like that? Or someone you know that is like the character in this? Or do you have two people that you know of how they interact with two characters in it? You know what I mean? It's like that way you can kind of flesh out dynamics. But no, I'm really looking at this. I think this is going to be really... This is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Alright, so I got the whole bases done. It is 6 o'clock, so it's been 4 hours since I started, which is incredible, I think. I've got the entire thing ready to go. I've got it down on the clock. I've got everything ready. I've got all the characters. I've got the entire story. I've got the ending. I've got everything I need to do, all the scenes, the themes. Everything is ready to go. All I've really got to do now is start writing. I'm taking a little bit of a break right now because I just got it done, and I figured if I got it done in 3.5 hours, that's not bad. Just had dinner. So I'll probably go in there in about 10 minutes maybe and start writing, but just take a little bit of break, because when I start writing, I don't want to stop until I'm ready to go to sleep. And then when I wake up, get breakfast, start writing again, keep going until I get lunch, maybe get a small break after lunch, and then keep writing some more. With any luck, I should definitely get this done. I don't really feel any pressure on me right now. I'm actually feeling really good about it. I'm sure I'll feel differently probably tomorrow night when I'm probably only halfway done with the script or something like that. So I think the characters, 2 of them actually are kind of just background characters after a while, so I'm really going to need to focus on how to make them more part of the story without seeming forced, and that'll be an interesting task to do. So it's like 1:45, 12:45 in the afternoon, second day, and I'm like 30 pages in, so I'm starting to really feel the weight of how much I've still got to do. The also problem is I think it's going to be a lot shorter than I expected. Like, I'm supposed to be on page 45, but it's actually page 30. So that was poor planning on my part, probably because, I was working really fast. So let's hope this stays feature length. If I can get to at least I can get to 85 pages, or even 80 maybe, I'll consider it good. But if not, then I'm going to have to really go through and do some rewriting, and I'm going to include that in the time, because I think as long as it's under about 90 pages, I'm not going to really want to consider it as a win or a feature film. So we'll have to see where that goes. But I just had a lunch break, and then I checked the internet, and my internet's out. So that means that I can't write because my script editor is on the computer, which means great. I don't know if I'm going to cut it out. I think I'm going to challenge myself to still continue doing it. Also, last night I got distracted because my brother was watching a movie and I kept watching. But I'm not going to take that as an excuse. It's part of the temptations and trying to get work done. And I slept in a little bit later than I probably should have. So I don't know. I'm really feeling it. I'm feeling like I'm going to have to be staying up late tonight and then get up early tomorrow morning. But that's what you get when you slack off. So that's what I've learned. You gotta push for it. Obviously it's nothing great, and I've realized that after watching Tyler Mowery's video. Obviously I realized that it wasn't going to be, and that it couldn't be some spectacular film script, but it's definitely not the worst. I'm writing and I'm getting so deep into it sometimes that I do just kind of write mindlessly because I'm feeling myself in the situation, because that's what the film really is. Hopefully this rain stops so that way I can get back on it though. I'm definitely feeling the pressure of it. Sitting here just typing and typing, and I realize that I feel like I'm going a page every hour is what it feels like. It's really slow, but I mean, it's definitely a learning experience, and I'm really enjoying this experience. Alright, so it's about 10:30 p.m. Finished. But considering the timestamp of the video, I'm assuming you can tell that I'm not done. The script's only 60 pages. So that means that I'm gonna have to go through and try and make it longer. What I do know is I'm gonna look through the themes that kind of basically just told the plot. I didn't really delve into the character's psyche, the themes, as much as I really wanted to. I kind of just lay down the story because I'm thinking to myself, I'm just gonna write and write and write, but apparently that kind of killed the story a little bit. It kind of made it, you know, a lot shorter than it should have been. I don't think I'm gonna be able to add a whole lot more. I'm guessing at the most maybe 60, I mean maybe 15 pages. I don't know how much I can actually get done. But since I've got like basically, I wake up at around 8 o'clock, probably gonna have about 4 hours to work with. And considering I wrote that's 50 pages and about, but at the very least, with it being over 55 pages, it is still technically a feature. I definitely feel like looking at it, I can go through each scene. Each scene could definitely be longer. I just wrote the story and the characters. I didn't really actually delve really deep into it like I kind of wanted to. Things I got it done so far, and I've still got basically a bunch of time to kill. So I'm gonna go to sleep, get some sleep, wake up, try and etch at it, try and sketch, try and get to work on it, try and get it as long as I can before that clock runs out. And as soon as that clock runs out, I'll be done. Whatever I have is what I have, and I might still edit it afterwards just for the day, just because I'm a very tedious guy like that. But yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do. We'll see. I did it! 48 hours on the clock! It's only 75 pages, which I would have preferred it to be longer, but I actually think that was a lack of planning, not necessarily a lack of time, because I actually finished the script last night, like I said, and it was 60 pages, and I went ahead and just took a break, and I watched The Walking Dead, and then I continued working on it this morning and this afternoon, really, we're just adding stuff, and I actually added 15 pages to it this morning, which is good. I was really worried I wasn't going to get to that mark. I wanted to be at least at 75 pages, so it could be an hour and 15. But I also feel like if we were to shoot it, I left a lot to the imagination, so I really just typed away, and I said things. I just said they walked, or I said they looked around. So I feel like it probably is a little bit short. Each page is probably more like a minute and 10 seconds, probably, as opposed to the usual 1 minute, which is what it usually evens out to. But I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just trying to justify the 75 pages. I'm not going to say what Tyler Mowery said. I'm not going to be all like, you know, it doesn't have to be a good script, you know, because that video already exists, and like I said, I recommended at the beginning of the video, go watch that. That's kind of want to talk about the process when I kind of felt after this, and the thing is, I'm actually really satisfied. Like, I know it's not nearly as long as I thought it was going to be, but it's a story that I actually care about that's still on paper. It's not a great story. It might not even be good. The story itself I really liked, and I actually got the ideas that I wanted onto the page. Technically, this is the second draft that I finished this morning, because like I said, I finished it completely last night. It was at the end, it said the end. So maybe it's the second draft that I'm proud of. The first draft of A Quiet Place was something like 62 pages, I think it was, so that was really short too, so this is nothing new for a first draft to be so short. But no, I didn't expect to actually create a script that I cared about. I expected it to kind of just be a throwaway one, but now I'm looking at it, I kind of want to dedicate 2 years of my life sometime in the future to making this into a real film. The ideas are good, the characters are good, I still like all the things that play out, I kind of like the story, I think it'd be really cool to explore more about it. I would definitely probably start all over from scratch again instead of just adding things like I've been doing. So I don't think this is just an exercise, I think this is genuinely something I can do. And what I learned from this is that, first of all, every writer's different. Like I said, Tyler, he wrote a full thing, but he kind of had to work his way through and hard to it. I found that I think I might prefer writing scripts this way, because I wrote 2 other features before this. I worked on them over the first draft for over a month, you know, planning and writing, and because I was trying to make a good first draft. And here's the thing, is both first drafts still suck. And then I kind of lost interest after that first draft because, well, first of all, because I don't have time to just focus on one, especially for a feature film, which I'm not going to make for a while. I mean, after that long of a time, while doing other things, it just kind of wasn't working. I kind of liked just sitting down and boiling down to one story, and that kind of taught me, because like most writers, I always work on many different things at once. I never just focus on one, especially being younger. The only things I focus on, like my microfilms, I focus on those like a week at a time and get those done. I always thought that I should make all the features and write down the first drafts when I was young and continue to work at them, and I think that's not a bad strategy still. But I think for those first drafts of those feature films that I want to make one day in the future, instead of working months over a time at them, I should just dedicate 1 week, be like, alright, I'm going to write the first draft of this, and then I can etch on that after that first week, and over months at a time, and do different projects at a time with each script. Because this way I can kind of just focus on it, this one story for a week, and tell that first draft. And I've only got a couple of dozen, so even if I do this like once a week, every other month, or every 3 months, I still have all these written before I ever break into the industry of all these first drafts. Instead of over months at a time writing the first draft while doing other things, I might just take a week off and be like, alright, I'm writing a feature film, and I'm gonna pour my heart into this feature for a little while, because it makes me care. And that might just be me, and that's fine, but I want all of you to try this challenge. I think everyone can actually learn something new from it. Anybody. But no, this was really fun. I'm really glad I did this, and I encourage anyone who sees this to do this. And I hope you learned something new too, something that I didn't learn. And if you do learn something, let me know. Or if you have the same thing as me, that's great. I want to hear all about it. Well, this video is unscripted, so let's see how well that works. That might not be as good as I was hoping. That might actually boil things down. Might be a little bit confusing. I guess I'll see when I'm editing it. But no, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. See what else I've got coming. I've got more content on the way, more video essays, more writing stuff, because I actually really enjoyed this, and I think there's a lot that all of us can learn. And I'm still in the learning process myself, so I encourage other teenagers to go on this journey with me about starting from here and learning to move